Hey, I'm Roland and I'm right here at the Samsung Roadshow in Berlin, Germany. And while we were at MWC, Samsung more quietly in Germany announced the Samsung Galaxy XCover 4, which is the reason I am here, because I want to take a look at this ruggedized smartphone that is geared towards the lower end of the market, because it starts at 259 euros in Germany, and it seems to be a pretty decent device for the price, at least. It is a rather low-end device because you always have the Galaxy S7 Active, for example, in the higher end. This is a general available smartphone that should be out in a bunch of countries, also including dual SIM variants. In Germany, it's only available as a single SIM. But let's take a quick look at it right now. As you can see, it is fully ruggedized, so basically you have a device that fulfills the US military standards. So it's certified after US Mil-Spec 810 STG or whatever it's called. So it withstands drops up to 120 meters, which should be like 6 feet or whatever. No, 6 feet is too much, 4 feet basically. And yeah, it's also IP68 certified, so you have a case that is fully waterproof up to 1.5 meters depth for 30 minutes, at least that's what they're saying, but that is only for fresh water. So if you put it into salt water, any acids or other liquids like alcohols, for example, they will not honor your warranty, because that is not what it's certified for. Other than that, you get a fully ruggedized casing. As I said, it has this rubberized side here, which makes it very easy to hold. It's got a good grip to it. You also have these lines on the sides, and on the other side, it's pretty much the same. This rubber bumper basically goes all the way around the device. You can take off the back, so basically you just grab it here, open it up, and then you got access to the innards. I'll show you that in a second. The back cover is actually just basic plastic, but it's got this structure to it, so it doesn't attract any fingerprints at all. So yeah, that's pretty good. At the bottom you get your hardware keys, so these are definitely fully clickable and they have a pretty good feel to them. So the click point is very accurate and very pronounced. The same goes for the buttons on the side, so if you click these, I don't know if you can hear it, but it actually really clicks on these buttons. Same goes for the other two buttons on the side here. Up here is your quick access button, which also works for your camera. So if you have the choice of use, you can either turn on the flashlight back here. I think I have to turn on the device first. So if I press this, the flashlight turns on or off. And the other option is to launch the camera, and if I hold this button for a second, it should launch the camera right there. So there you have it. This is the 13 megapixel camera that's on the rear here. It has an f/19 aperture, which should be pretty good for photos. There's no 4K video on here, but you can do 1080p videos, should be possible, no problem. It focuses pretty fast, I'd say. I mean, it's pretty decent. You also have the option to play around a bit with the lighting in the software here. And yeah, picture taking is pretty fast. Let's have a look at the video part. There is definitely no image stabilization or anything on here, so you will end up with a bunch of shaky videos if you walk around like that, but it should be 1080 and overall pretty decent quality. The camera on the front is a 5 megapixel sensor that sits right next to those two other distance and brightness sensors, and your earpiece, which is nicely covered with a grill so it doesn't clutter up with dirt. The screen on the front is a 5-inch LCD panel, so this is not an AMOLED panel, but it's an LCD. This runs at 1280 by 720. Brightness seems very decent because I'm in a very brightly lit room right now, and you should have no issues reading this in bright sunlight. There's also the option to be able to use this device with gloves, so it's definitely geared towards construction workers and pretty much everybody else who's mostly an outdoor person and who might be wearing gloves, so you'll be able to use it that way. Let's take a further look at the back, because up here is your 13 megapixel camera. There's your single LED flash. There is a 2800 milliamp hour battery in here that is user replaceable. You always want to make sure that this cover is fully attached at all the corners. Make sure everything is clicked in, because this is what saves your device from water death. It's basically a rubber lip that goes around the inner parts of the device where water would be really devastating if it would get in. I think there is a dual SIM version for other countries. In Germany, I heard there is not going to be a dual SIM version. You get a micro SD card slot for extending your 16 gigabytes of internal storage that the device has from the factory. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But we'll move over to the front for a second once more. As you notice, there is no fingerprint reader or anything on here, so you will have to just basically unlock it like all the other older phones that you might have laying around. Let's take a look at the CPU-Z here, because it will tell us, yes, this is a rather low-end device. As I said, it has an Exynos 7570 quad-core SoC that's based on ARM Cortex A53 architecture, and it runs at up to 1.43 gigahertz. Also, the Mali T720 isn't the fastest GPU in this device, but overall performance seems, it seems pretty much okay. You have to live with the fact that it might take a little longer for apps to open, so I've been playing around with the device for a little while, and let's just clean off the memory there, and you'll see, yep, it takes maybe 1 or 2 seconds for even basic apps to open. Same goes for the browser or pretty much any other app, depending on how many of them you have open, but performance seems pretty good. It doesn't stutter. That's pretty interesting, so that's a good sign, because TouchWiz was known for being a bit heavy on the hardware, but this new version that is based on Android 7.0 even seems to be doing good on rather low-end devices. And yeah, that's just been a very quick look at the Samsung Galaxy XCover 4 here at the Samsung Roadshow in Berlin. I was Roland. If you like what I do on my tiny little YouTube channel here, just follow me, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter for all things mobile devices and a bunch of leaks. Thanks.